Yes, students, just to recapitulate the chapter 5, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher, who was a great writer, and he wrote many books in which the life of Mahatma Gandhi is considered as the great book, the best book by Times Educational Supplement. And this chapter is an excerpt from that book only. We are told here that the writer Louis Fisher explained about Mahatma Gandhi, and when he visited Mahatma Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram, he told Louis Fisher, Mahatma Gandhi told Louis Fisher how he decided to urge the departure of the Britishers in 1917, and Mahatma Gandhi had gone to annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow in 1916, and there were large number of representatives and the visitors. And during the proceedings of that convention, Mahatma Gandhi recalled the incident that a peasant came who was very weak and poor, and he introduced himself as Rajkumar Shukla, and he told that he had come from Champaran district, that is a district in Bihar. But Mahatma Gandhi had never heard this name. It is situated near the kingdom of Nepal in the foothills of Himalayas. And what was told by that peasant Rajkumar Shukla, that according to an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were considered as sharecroppers, and Rajkumar Shukla was also one of them. He was illiterate but very resolute and determined type of person. He complained Mahatma Gandhi about the injustice that was happening to these peasants by the Britishers, landlords in Bihar, and somebody suggested him to go and talk to Mahatma Gandhi. So he had come to complain and get some solution for this problem from Mahatma Gandhi. But Mahatma Gandhi was not free. He had so many appointments. He had to go to Kanpur, then to other places, then he went to his ashram. But Shukla was so determined that he accompanied him everywhere. And at the end of many weeks, when he got tired of this, Mahatma Gandhi was still not free. He begged him to fix a date. And Mahatma Gandhi told him that on so and so date, he would be coming to Calcutta, so he should come there, and took him from that place. So many months passed and the date came. Shukla reached Calcutta. He was waiting for Mahatma Gandhi, but Mahatma Gandhi was still not free. He had his meetings and other works. And when he got free, they both took a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. And Rajkumar Shukla first took Mahatma Gandhi to Rajendra Prasad's house. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was the president of the Congress party later on, he was a lawyer at that time, and he had been dealing with the cases of the peasants. But Rajendra Prasad was not at home, and they were not allowed to stay there. Even Mahatma Gandhi was not allowed to take water from the well, because the servants who knew Rajkumar Shukla, that he was a peasant, because he used to come to meet Rajendra Prasad for the peasants' cases sometimes with the problems, they knew Rajkumar Shukla, and they thought that Gandhi was also his companion, and they do not know about his caste, religion. So they did not allow Mahatma Gandhi to take water from the well. Otherwise, according to them, it would be polluted. Mahatma Gandhi decided to go to Muzaffarpur to get more details about this exploitation or the injustice that was being done to the peasants. He wanted to meet the lawyers, and he sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kriplani of Arts College in Muzaffarpur, who was known to Mahatma Gandhi, and he had met him at Tagore's Shanti Niketan. When they reached there, Kriplani was there with a large number of his students on 15th April 1917 at midnight. He was waiting there at the station, but Mahatma Gandhi stayed at the house of Professor Malkani, who was a teacher in a government school, and it was extraordinary in those days to give shelter to these lawyers or to those people who are involved in the protests or those who are having showing sympathy for the advocates of home rule. So it was not allowed to the government teachers. Even then, Professor Malkani allowed and he gave shelter to Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi stayed there for 2 days, and the news of Mahatma Gandhi's arrival and his purpose, his mission, why he had come, spread all over. Peasants from Muzaffarpur as well as from Champaran also started coming to meet Mahatma Gandhi. Some were coming on foot, some were using their campaigns. So Mahatma Gandhi called the lawyers who were taking the peasants' cases in the courts to get detailed information about that, and then he asked them about the fee which they were charging from these poor peasants. So Mahatma Gandhi chided the lawyers, he scolded the lawyers for collecting so much big fee, and he came to the conclusion, we were here, this was the conclusion and the first step that was taken by Mahatma Gandhi in that area, that those peasants who were full of fear, they were fear stricken. They could not tell their statements or they could not tell their case in an honest way or frankly, openly. They were having fear in their mind, so they were not telling the things clearly. And Mahatma Gandhi came to the conclusion that their cases should not be taken to the courts because it does not make any difference. It is useless to take their cases to the courts where the peasants are crushed and fear stricken. So the first step should be that these peasants should be made free from fear. Underline this line, the real relief for them is to be free from fear. So Mahatma Gandhi realized the need to make these peasants free from the feeling of fear so that they can put up their case, they can tell their problems openly, clearly, without any feeling of fear. We have read up to this. Coming to the next part, most of the arable land in Champaran district was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. Please note down, this is a paragraph which is going to tell you about the actual problem, what was there, and be particular because most of the students used to write wrong. You should be clear about the problem. What was the problem at that time when Mahatma Gandhi reached this area of Champaran? Most of the arable land in the Champaran district was divided. कि जितनी भी वहाँ cultivable land थी, जिसके ऊपर की खेती की जा सकती थी, agriculture कृषि की जा सकती थी, that was divided into large estates. बड़े-बड़े estates में बांटी हुई थी, owned by Englishmen, and they were owned by the Englishmen. Means owners जो थे, उनके मालिक जो थे, वो English people थे, Britishers थे, and worked by the Indian tenants. लेकिन उनके ऊपर काम करने वाले जो थे वो इंडियन टेनेंट्स थे, इंडियन पीजेंट्स जो थे वो काम करते थे और मालिक उसके इंग्लिश लोग थे. The chief commercial crop was indigo. The main crop commercial that was sold and the profit was bought from that was indigo. We have discussed already yesterday. What is indigo? It's a blue colored plant which is used for the cloths, whitening the cloths. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20th or 15% of their holdings with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was the ancient arrangement that was made. कि जो पुराना उनका सिस्टम था, क्या सिस्टम सेट हुआ था, एक अरेंजमेंट हुआ था. The landlords, they have compelled these tenants, these all Indian farmers, to plant 3/20th or 15% of their holdings with indigo. कि उनके लिए ये कंपल्शन थी कि वो 15% जो उनकी होल्डिंग्स हैं उसके ऊपर इंडिगो ही प्रोड्यूस करेंगे एंड सरेंडर द एंटायर इंडिगो हार्वेस्ट एज रेंट. और पूरी की पूरी फसल जितनी इंडिगो हार्वेस्ट होगी वो पूरी की पूरी फसल जो है दे विल सरेंडर टू द ब्रिटिशर्स एज रेंट. और एक किराए के तौर पर वो किराए के तौर पर उस सारी फसल को ब्रिटिशर्स को सरेंडर कर देंगे. This was done by long-term contract, and it was made. This arrangement was made for a long term. It was just like a contract. जैसे कि एक ठेका कर लिया हो उनके साथ कि बहुत लंबे समय तक ये ऐसा ही चलता रहा. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. लेकिन क्या हुआ? Very soon, the landlords, the British landlords, they came to know that Germany had started producing synthetic indigo. Synthetic indigo means artificial indigo. One was the original that was produced in the fields, in the farms, and this was the synthetic indigo, जो कि chemical वगैरह डालकर artificial man-made indigo जो था वो बनाया जाने लगा. They thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. Please underline this line, which will tell you the actual problem, what was there at that time. Because earlier the ancient arrangement was made that they have to do the harvest of indigo. They have to plant 3/20th or 15% of their holdings with indigo, and the whole crop of the indigo should be surrendered to the Britishers as rent. But now what happened when the synthetic indigo came in the market that was produced by Germany, the British landlords, they came to know about this, and they thought that now their profit will be less. It's quite natural. When there is a competition, two things are there. ओरिजिनल भी वहां पर इंडिगो आ रहा है मार्केट में सेल के लिए, और आर्टिफिशियल भी आने लगा, सिंथेटिक इंडिगो बन गया. एंड इफ दे आर सेलिंग एट लो प्राइस, पीपल मे परचेज दैट ओनली. लोग जो थे वो सिंथेटिक इंडिगो को प्रेफर करेंगे, कम रेट में उनको मिल रहा है. सो दे रियलाइज्ड दैट इट विल कॉज लॉस टू देम, कि उनको नुकसान होगा, उनको प्रॉफिट नहीं मिलेगा. So they thought a plan, trick, just to again exploit the Indian farmers. What was that? That they thereupon obtained agreements from the sharecroppers. उन्होंने जितने भी sharecroppers थे उनसे फिर से एक agreement लिया to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. ये जो 15% arrangement रखा गया था, इस बॉन्ड से या इस सिस्टम से उनको रिलीज करने के लिए Indian sharecroppers will pay compensation to the Britishers. मतलब उनको अमाउंट दे दिया गया कि आपको कुछ अमाउंट जो है वो पे करना है, कंपेंसेशन देनी है ब्रिटिशर्स को, तो हम आपको इस बंधन से या इस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से, जो कि लॉन्ग टर्म कॉन्ट्रैक्ट चल रहा था, उससे हम आपको फ्री कर देंगे. That means you will not be compelled to plant 15% of your holdings with indigo and surrender that crop. So they just told the Indian farmers that they have to give the compensation to get relaxation in this contract. 15% arrangement वाला जो contract था, इससे अपने आप को रिलीज करने के लिए they have to give compensation. That means they have to pay some money to the Britishers. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome because it was very troublesome system to the peasants. This already the contract or the 15% arrangement वाला जो system चल रहा था, it was very troublesome for the peasants, and many signed willingly. So many of the peasants, they signed willingly for this contract that they will pay compensation, because these peasants were illiterate, they were uneducated, they did not know anything what is happening in the market. उनको कुछ भी नहीं पता था कि अंदर planning उनकी क्या थी. So those who were very much in trouble, बहुत disturbed थे, they were feeling very bad for this exploitation, they signed this arrangement willingly. Those who resisted engaged laws. Some peasants were there who resisted for this arrangement of compensation. They engaged lawyers. उन्होंने अपने cases lawyers के पास put up करे. The landlords hired thugs. लेकिन ब्रिटिशर्स ने उन लोगों को भी अच्छे से ट्रीट नहीं करा. They hired thugs. Thugs means उनके लिए criminals, कुछ उनको मार पीट करने वाले लोग जो थे, जैसे डाकू डकैत से कुछ गुंडे टाइप लोग जो थे, वो उन्हें हायर करे और इंडियन फार्मर्स को डराना शुरू कर दिया, so that they should not put up their cases and they should sign on the arrangement. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed, and they wanted their money back. Or what happened? Slowly and steadily, the information passed to those peasants also who were illiterate and who had signed that agreement. Compensation वाले agreement के ऊपर जिन्होंने sign कर दिए थे, वो agree कर रहे थे कि हाँ जी हम compensation दे देंगे and we will be free from this contract. They also came to know about the synthetic indigo, that this is the reason why they are asking from them compensation. They wanted their money back. Those who have paid the compensation and they signed the agreement, they wanted their money back now. And the Britishers were not ready to give that money back. Now, this was the problem at which point Mahatma Gandhi reached Champaran. So it should be clear to you very well, because this is the main and the basic problem that is dealt. And you might have got the reference of this in history also, if you know about the history and the life and the works of Mahatma Gandhi. So what was the problem? An ancient arrangement was there that Indian peasants, they had to plant indigo on 15% of the land which was owned by the Britishers, and then that whole harvest of indigo was to surrender to the Britishers as rent. It was going on for a long time. Suddenly, Germany started producing synthetic indigo, and the Britishers realized that it will cause loss to them. So they thought a plan, and they told the Indian peasants that they would have relaxation from this arrangement of 15% if they pay some compensation. Some peasants who were illiterate, who did not know anything about this, they were very much troubled with this system of 15% arrangement. They were tired of it, fed up, and they signed. But those who did not agree, they resisted, they engaged lawyers, they put up their cases, and they were also threatened and beaten by the thugs that were hired by the landlords. Slowly and steadily, the information reached to those people also, those illiterate peasants who had signed, who had paid the compensation about the synthetic indigo, and they wanted their money back. Whereas the Britishers did not want to give the money back. This was the problem at what point Mahatma Gandhi reached here. So at this point, Gandhi arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts. So to solve any problem, it is a good idea first to get the detailed information or the facts about that problem. So Mahatma Gandhi did that. He collected all the information, all the facts about this. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. So please note down what is the way of working of Mahatma Gandhi in a very peace and calmful way, non-violent way. He continued his work. He collected all the facts, all the informations about this problem, and he visited secretary of the British Landlords Association. British Landlord की जो association बनी हुई थी उसके secretary से वो मिले. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. He wanted to get more information about this problem, but the secretary told that he's an outsider because he did not belong to that area of Champaran. So they could not give any information to him. He refused. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. He told the secretary that he was not an outsider. He was also an Indian, but the secretary refused. Next, Gandhi called on the British official commissioner of the Tirhat division, in which the Champaran district lay. Then Mahatma Gandhi tried to meet the British official commissioner of that particular division, Tirhat division, in which this district Champaran lay. So the commissioner, Gandhi reports, Gandhi ji क्या बता रहे हैं लुईस फिशर को कि कमिश्नर ने उनको क्या कहा? The commissioner proceeded to bully me and advised me forthwith to leave Tirhat. कमिश्नर ने कहते हैं उसको मुझे bully means threaten करना, उनको threaten किया, वो भी उनको उसी वे में threaten कर रहे थे, बता रहे थे जैसे कि secretary ने कहा, and he advised Mahatma Gandhi to leave Tirhat division, कि वो इस जगह को छोड़कर चले जाएं क्योंकि उनका इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है, कोई लेना देना नहीं है. He is not a resident of that area, so he should not involve himself in this problem. That means the commissioner also did not give any information to Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi did not leave, but Mahatma Gandhi was determined because he had come there to find out the solution and to help those poor peasants. So he did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. This is the third step he took. First, he went to the secretary of the British Landlord Association. Then he went to the official commissioner of Tirhat division. And then he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him, and he took many lawyers along with him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi, and again he was welcomed by a large number of people at the railway station when he went towards Motihari. He went to a house and, using it as headquarters, continued his investigations. He went to the house of a poor peasant there and uh, established his headquarters there, and then he continued his investigations. He tried to collect more and more information from here and there. A report came in that a peasant had been maltreated in a nearby village. He got a report that there is a peasant who had been maltreated, that means ill-treated, bad treatment was peasant ke saath in the nearby village. And Gandhi decided to go and see the next morning. He started out on the back of an elephant, and he decided to go to that village to meet that villager who had been ill-treated. And the next morning he started on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town in his carriage. अभी वो बहुत दूर नहीं गए थे, जैसे ही थोड़ा वो चले वहां से, तो उनको पुलिस सुप्रिंटेंडेंट का मैसेंजर जो था, he overtook him, महात्मा गांधी को उन्होंने पकड़ लिया, and he ordered him to return to the town in the carriage. उनको गाड़ी प्रोवाइड की गई कि आप अपने टाउन वापस चले जाओ. गांधी complied. महात्मा गांधी ने इस चीज का विरोध करा. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. और मैसेंजर जो था वो उसको कहते हैं ना जबरदस्ती, he drove महात्मा गांधी home, वापस उनको वहां ले आए उस घर में जहां पर उन्होंने अपने हेडक्वार्टर्स बनाए थे, and he was served with an official notice to quit Champaran. और उनको एक लीगल नोटिस इशू कर दिया गया कि वो चंपारण डिस्ट्रिक्ट को छोड़कर इमीडिएटली वहां से चले जाए. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. He signed the receipt, which was given by the messenger of the police commissioner, police superintendent, but he wrote on that notice that he would disobey the order. क्या order था उनके लिए? That he should quit Champaran immediately. But Mahatma Gandhi signed that he had received the letter, but he wrote on that he would disobey the order, that he would not leave that area. So from here, disobedience movement started. This is the first step, which was named as disobedience movement for the orders and the ideas of the Britishers. कि जो भी Britishers ideas या orders देते थे, उनको disobey करना यहाँ से start हुआ, and which was given the name of disobedience movement. In consequence, Gandhi received a summons to appear in the court the next day. And what was the result of that disobeying the order? In result, Mahatma Gandhi received a summon. Summon is a call, a legal call, official call from the government, from the authorities to appear in the court the next day. उनके लिए क्या समन था कि अगले दिन वो कोर्ट में appear हुए, उनके लिए against case जो था वो दायर किया गया. All night, Gandhi remained awake. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instructions to the ashram. He wired a full report to the viceroy. He kept on working on this issue for the whole night and remained awake, sari raat jagte rahe, and was doing the things what he needed to do. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad and told him to come from Bihar with some powerful people, his friends. He sent instructions to the ashram that he would not be able to come back for many days, so they should look after the work themselves. He wired a full report to the viceroy, and the whole information message was sent through wires to the viceroy also. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. जैसे जैसे ये खबर सारे लोगों के पास पहुंची कि महात्मा गांधी को कोर्ट में बुलाया गया है, उनके अगेंस्ट केस जो है वो चलाया जाएगा. All the peasants were with Mahatma Gandhi. They all supported him, and they all reached to the town of Motihari, black with the peasants. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. मतलब सारे peasants जो थे वो मोतीहरी में इकट्ठे हो गए to support Mahatma Gandhi, and they all gathered in front of the court where Mahatma Gandhi had to appear. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. All those people, illiterate peasants, they did not know anything about Mahatma Gandhi's record in South Africa, what he had done there for their freedom. They only knew this thing, they had heard only this thing, that a saintly person, a Mahatma, had come who wanted to support and help these poor peasants who were in trouble. And now that person, that Mahatma, is having some problem with the authorities. So all the peasants gathered there to support Mahatma Gandhi and were against the Britishers' decision. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of British. Please underline this line. This was the first achievement of Mahatma Gandhi for the purpose, for the first thing which he wanted to do. What was that? We were told at the ending of that conclusion, when he talked to the lawyers and he rebuked them, he scolded those lawyers for taking their cases to the courts and charging a big amount of fee. What was the conclusion taken at that time? That these peasants should be made free from the fear, so that they can tell their cases, they can tell their problems openly and without any fear. And this is the proof of that now. We got the proof here that those peasants have no fear of the Britishers now. And their spontaneous demonstration, मतलब उनकी लगातार जो प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा था, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हो रहा था, एक गैदरिंग उन्होंने वहां इकट्ठी करी इन थाउजेंड्स, हजारों की गिनती में किसान जो थे वो कहते कोर्ट हाउस के आसपास इकट्ठे हो गए. And this was the beginning of their liberation from fear of the British. The Britishers के fear से आजाद होने का ये उनका beginning step था, first step था, and this was a thing which Mahatma Gandhi wanted. He wanted to make those peasants courageous, bold, so that they should not have any feeling of fear. The officials felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. So all the officials, they were helpless in front of Mahatma Gandhi. They needed Mahatma Gandhi's help, and Mahatma Gandhi gave them cooperation to control this crowd. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, hitherto dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indians. Please underline this line. These lines which I'm telling you to underline, these can be converted into questions. So you should be clear about those lines. So Mahatma Gandhi helped them to control the crowd in a very friendly and polite manner. And he told the Britishers that this is the concrete proof, a solid proof that their might means their power of the Britishers, hitherto dreaded, that was a fear for the peasants, जिससे कि अभी तक वो सब डरते थे, and unquestioned थी, कोई उनको क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछता था. Whatever order they give, they follow. The Indians follow. That could be challenged by the Indians. अब वो power जो है उसको चैलेंज किया जा सकता है इंडियंस के द्वारा. महात्मा गांधी proved this and told those Britishers, made them realize about this by giving this concrete solid proof that these illiterate peasants who had gathered there in his support and they are protesting, this is a challenge to their authority which was dreaded and unquestioned. मतलब उनकी पावर जिससे कि इंडियंस डरते थे पहले और क्वेश्चनिंग नहीं करते थे. Now they are bold and they are coming forward. So this was a challenge for the Britishers to leave India. This is the first step when Mahatma Gandhi realized that they can compel the Britishers to leave India. Because when the ordinary people came forward, आम आदमी जिसको कि पॉलिटिक्स के में कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं था, वो जब इकट्ठे हो गए, तो दिस वाज द सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट. This is also known as civil disobedience movement, where the civilians, all the ordinary people gathered together to support and to protest against the Britishers, to support the leaders and to protest against the Britishers. So I'm leaving it here. We'll continue. Please go through the chapter side by side so that it should be clear to you, because these are the facts and history that you need to read. Okay, here you can't use your imagination.